in history, all 4 belts in the Cruiserweight division will belong proudly around the waist of one man.
This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV in association with MTK Global, with the headquarters of Eddie Hearn.
Well, Matron.
Eddie Hearn.
You always get me, don't you, when I come back?
Yeah, why
it's
not?
like I've been travelling non-stop all week last week, and I just want to chill out for 24 hours. And as soon as I landed, KUGAN. How many times did you call me yesterday?
7.
I was like, mate, you're around tomorrow. I thought, you're so bloodthirsty. You've just got to get the gossip, haven't you? Got to get the news.
Mixed, obviously, fight-wise, it was a great fight.
Brilliant fight. Yeah.
A brave performance from Quigg.
Understatement.
But obviously, let's start with the news that kind of took over the fight. Scott Quigg failing to make weight, not being able to challenge for the world title. I know you've said a lot when you were out in America, but if you wanted to kind of address that now.
Yeah, I mean, it was a disaster, really. You know, everybody who knows Scott Quigg in the business were completely shocked, because there isn't a person. I mean, this is a guy who's got a diary of everything he's ever eaten and every session he's ever had, probably for his entire career. So obviously up at 126 pounds from 122, never had a problem at featherweight. Everybody's tight at the weight, but you know. Anyway, saw him at the press conference, saw him at the workout. His weight was exactly the same as where it was for every other featherweight fight that he's had. Woke up in the morning, very early in the morning, I think probably 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, to do his sessions and to do his stuff to make the weight, and it just wasn't coming off in the same way. Exactly the same weights that he had been for previous featherweight fights. And I was laying in bed on Friday morning, 5:45 or 6 a.m, get a phone call from Quigg's friend and lawyer, Adam Russell. And when you get that phone call, it's only one thing. You know what I mean? Why is this geezer calling me at 6 o'clock in the morning to tell me some bad news? So I picked it up. Go on. That's what I first said. Oh, mate, we've got a problem. This weight's just not coming off. And then I spoke to Quigg, and then everything came out about the foot injury, which he'd kept to himself, which was that he had a stress fracture in his foot 3-4 weeks out before the fight.
Who knew about that?
The team, as in training team. He didn't want to pull out the fight. He felt that it was a voluntary defence, and if he didn't fight, he'd lose the opportunity, which is probably true. So it wasn't like, you know, it was across the front of the foot. He just couldn't. He needed to give it like a week's rest from doing certain things, sparring, running, jumping rope. So he could go on the bike, he could use other stuff, but he couldn't train to the same intensity and burn the same calories that he would do if he was doing his long runs and stuff like that. So he cut his food and his water earlier than usual in this camp. And when it came to taking it off, he just couldn't do it. And we spoke, and I said, look, you know, if you can't take any more weight off, don't. He was 3 pounds over when he called me. And that's a lot of weight. It's not like it's a pound. You know, you've got to understand, when fighters get down to the last pound, that last pound is so difficult. But to get from 3 pound down when you've been working Thursday night, Friday morning, and it's not shifting, I knew then he was never going to make the weight. So I said to him, look, if you feel as though you've done all you can, you know, we have to be realistic here. There's no point just completely depleting yourself to try and lose another 1.5 pounds. I said, so, but if you feel like you can have a go to make this weight, he said, no, I'm carrying on trying, but I don't understand. You know, I've just done this workout, and normally I'd drop 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds. I've dropped a couple of ounces. So he carried on a little bit, called me an hour and a half later, and he just said, look, you know, and he got to a stage where it becomes damaging for the fighter, and it's a risk, health-wise. You know, he was depleted, and I just said to him, no more. You know, we have to deal with this. He was 2.6 pounds over, 2.8 pounds over. And I just said to him, we've got to deal with it. And I then called Top Rank straight away. I said, look, Quigg's got a problem, blah, blah, blah. They said, oh, how light can he get to? I said, well, you know, he's got another 3 or 4 hours to the weigh-in. He might lose another couple of ounces naturally, but that's it. So we weighed in. He was 2.8 ounces over, actually 2.6, but they called it 2.8. Can't believe they robbed us of 2 ounces. And that's when all the fun and games starts from there. You know, the camps negotiating. There was an automatic 20% penalty on his bout agreement money. And then Valdez wanted him to re-weigh on Saturday.
Which he refused.
Yeah, and that's when it's a case of the negotiations between the two camps. It was certainly very reasonable of Top Rank and Valdez's management team to request a Saturday weigh-in, but it's not mandatory. You don't have to do it. And Quigg just said, look, I've knocked my bollocks out to make this fight with my injury. I've knocked my bollocks out to try and make the weight. I'm not weighing in tomorrow. And people, it shocks me so much that people in the sport say, do you reckon he's done that deliberately? Why would we fight Oscar Valdez in a non-title fight? The whole reason we took that fight was to fight for the world title. So when he couldn't make the weight, he was in tears, Quigg. It completely knocked the bollocks out of him. And it made the fight even harder. One, because obviously he didn't have the best preparation. But two, because he wanted to win the world title. That was the dream, to be a 2-weight world champion. But he's a stubborn little fucker. You know, when you're negotiating, and it's like, well, if he doesn't weigh in tomorrow, the fight's off. I say to Scott, mate, if you don't weigh in tomorrow, they can call this fight off. Fine, turn the fights off. I had a great camp anyway. So it was a difficult 24 hours. Then he puts in a performance. What that performance was, that's Scott Quigg. That's a stubborn little bastard. Because he just decided, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go out there and I'm going to have a tear up. And I've got to say, he could have boxed a cleverer fight, but fuck me, did he show a set of bollocks in that fight. I wanted to pull him out after 10 rounds because it was so brutal and his nose was busted up so bad. But he was having none of it. Went over to Freddie Roach and Gavin and just said, listen, his nose is bad. We need to think about this. They asked him. Freddie Roach said, like, you know, I might pull you out here. And he said, don't you dare. It was a really, really brave performance. And again, people that criticise, people make mistakes all the time. Who is it? It says, if I haven't made 100 mistakes by lunchtime, I'm still asleep. You can't be too critical on people in the fight game who you know are dedicated, who make mistakes. And sometimes the mistakes weren't even... It wasn't like he cheated in the diet. It wasn't like he cut any corners. That's not Scott Quigg. He had an issue that he tried to deal with and it affected him making weight. But hopefully he got the respect of everybody who he might have lost some respect for through not making the weight.
It is suggested that fighters, especially sometimes with the IBF ruling the next day £10 limit, that they come in over as a tactical reason. That is suggested, isn't it, that fighters do that?
No. In what way? Coming over on the IBF limit? What? Why would you do that? If you wanted to win a world title, that IBF...
But it has happened with fighters.
People have refused that check weight. Danny Jacobs was a good example. When he boxed Golovkin for the 4 belts, he chose not to re-weigh on the Saturday because it affects your performance. When Scott Quigg had to weigh in to fight Carl Frampton, that check weight was really tough for him for the IBF, as it would have been for Carl. For Kell Brook, that IBF check weight used to kill him because he couldn't hydrate in the same way he could do. Scott Quigg woke up 138 pounds on Saturday morning. Okay, that was 12 pounds over the weight limit. That was 10 pounds more than what he weighed on the scales. He weighed in on fight night. He had all his gear on, but he was 142 pounds. So call it 140 if you wish. That's pretty standard to what he normally weighs on fight night. He's put on a stone from the championship limit. It's quite a lot, but most fighters will put on between 8 and 14 pounds. Some even more. But people say, oh, he's hydrated to 142. It's not unusual. He hydrates to 140 every time he fights. But it wasn't. So people say, oh, well, he had the advantage going into the fight because of his weight. No, we would have preferred a great camp. We would have preferred the perfect weight cut and to go into the fight 100%. He wasn't 100%. The weight cut was a mess. You could see his physical condition wasn't quite the same on the scales. So it wasn't ideal at all. But what it was ideal was the performance where people have turned around, especially in America, and said, fuck me, this Scott Quigg's a warrior. We want to see him again. And that's the great thing about, if you lose, but you lose like that, your stock rises. Scott Quigg's stock has risen immensely in the States after that performance.
If you knew about the stress factor in his foot, what would you have advised him to do prior to that?
It's not really. At the end of the day, Scott Quigg. If Scott Quigg felt like he couldn't have boxed, he would have pulled out the fight. He's not the kind of guy that's going to go into a fight if he didn't feel like he could win a fight. But he's camped. German injuries are in camps. You don't even hear about them. And this was just another one. It wasn't going to rule him out of the fight. It just affected his weight-making process. And when it came down to it, again, all the weights were the same that he normally had. But where he's cut his water and food earlier than normal, he couldn't get it out of him. And again, I'm not going to let a fighter go into a fight where they're putting their health at risk because they've just completely drained themselves at the weight. And he did try and make weight. It wasn't like he just decided he wouldn't bother, and he tried repetitively. But after a while, enough was enough.
Obviously, that clip went out with you and Steve Kim.
That was alright. It was good.
The heated reporter.
But you see, with the clickbait now, it's like, wow, Hearn and Kim in intense. It's like, he asked some very valid points. I felt like he was wrong on a few points. He said that Valdez was facing a welterweight in there. A welterweight weight limit's 147. They're going to rehydrate to 155, 160 pounds. Nowhere near a welterweight. He was probably a pound or two heavier in the ring than he normally is. That's all. And people saying it was an unfair advantage for Oscar Valdez. It was an unfair advantage that Scott Quigg couldn't have a proper camp and had a stress fracture in his foot and couldn't make the weight properly. So I wouldn't take any notice about him being 2 pounds over in terms of how the fight played out. But brilliant fight. Quigg was immense. Valdez was excellent. It was a joy to watch. Really was. Tough men.
How long before you think you can get Quigg back on the world title trial again?
Well, I want to box him. I'll probably box him in America again. And we've got a lot of stuff happening over there from September. We're going to be doing a lot of shows over there. So he'll be over there, I think, having his next fight. And then I think he's credible of a world title shot with any of those boys. Tough division. You know. Got Valdez, Gary Russell, who's a great fighter. You got Selby Warrington, and no disrespect to those guys, that's the weakest of the titles. But you know, I think you get to a stage where he's won world titles, he's challenged for world titles. It's really for him about the size of the fights now. He just wants to be in big fights. I think he should come back, box for some kind of title in sort of August, September, and then try and get another world title shot.
Moving on, you announced the signing of Kazakh gold medalist.
You like him, don't you?
Yulushinov, absolutely.
I didn't know whether he was on a wind-up. You text me, you're like, have you signed Yulushinov? Like, how do you know Yulushinov? You're like, fuck me. He
won a gold medal.
Yeah, I know, but it's just, you showed a lot of interest. It was nice. I liked it.
Yeah, quite excited about it.
I had the weirdest day on Monday. So, last Monday, flew to Kazakhstan. Right. So I was all over the place. It was really tight because we had the Kelbrook show. And then I come back on the Sunday, left early Monday. Got on the plane, Astana Air, direct to Kazakhstan. Got on there, quite a nice plane actually. And I'm sort of looked around, and I was the only person on the plane, right? I'm started thinking...
What, going out to Kazakhstan?
Yeah, I was thinking, this is a bit weird. So, I had a tracksuit on, and I was going straight to the hotel, and then straight to the press conference to announce the signing of Yulusinov. So I had my suit carrier, a little bag, and then hung the suit up on the plane. Went down there, it's a long old flight, it's like 7.5 hours. There was about 8 people on the plane, no word of a lie. It was -10 or -12. Get off at Kazakhstan, knackered, hardly slept on the plane. Got off, got my bag, went downstairs, went through immigration, which was a bit weird. People were a little on the miserable side. Went out, as I'm walking through immigration to the exit sign, I've realised I've left my suit on the plane. Alright? So there's me in like some Under Armour tracksuit. I've got to be at a press conference in an hour and a half. So I've gone up to the lady and I've said, "Excuse me, I've left my suit on the plane." She's gone, "No, I understand." Anyway, half an hour later, someone's come along. "I've left my suit on the plane. I really need it." She says, "Could you come back in 4 or 5 hours to collect it?" I said, No, please. And I'm thinking, I've got to do this press conference in my Under Armour tracksuit, it's going to be a stinker. Eventually, I came out with a suit. Went to the hotel. As I come out, 8 million people. Taxi, taxi, taxi. It was like, I felt like Derek Trotter. Got in a cab to the hotel, and then met with Zia, who's the manager, and Daniel and his dad. And then went into the press conference, and it was every Kazakhstan media were there. And the whole press conference was obviously in Kazakh. And I said my bit with a translator. Now I know how these guys feel when they come over to fight in our events. And it was great. I had a good meetings with Daniel and his dad. He's a superstar over there. You know, he's like the Kazakh Beckham. Good looking kid. They love him.
Dresses like you.
He does. Do you see that with a polo?
Everyone saw that, yeah.
It's a bit of a language barrier because his English is okay, but he's working on it.
Is it better than Golovkin's?
I would say it's quite similar at the moment. But I speak to him on WhatsApp, and he speaks fluent English on WhatsApp, obviously, because he's got it on a translator. But I didn't know that, so I turned up, I'm like, "Danny, how you doing, mate?" He's like, "Hi." And I was like, "Oh, mate, look, me and you, polo neck, same. You know what I mean, like your style, son?" It's like, "Sorry?" I'm like, "Me and you, look, polo neck?" "Oh, yes." Looking at me thinking, who is this prick I've signed with? So,
what did Josh Kelly say about it? Who spoke to him?
No, I told Adam Booth to let him know. I don't think. Listen, one day Kelly against Yulusinov could be for all the belts. Josh is already changing for titles, so he's probably a year ahead of Daniel. But brilliant. I mean, so blessed to have fighters like Josh and Yulusinov. I mean, it's gone down well, that signing.
So he boxes on April 28th card in Brooklyn.
Yeah, debut in Brooklyn. And then I'm going to box in the UK in June, something like that. And then I think he'll move quite quick.
You're going to Newcastle?
Yeah, I'm going to Newcastle, I think, on June the 16th. I'm just sort of working out whether I go May the 26th. Just with the boys earlier, talking about maybe doing a bank holiday Sunday show on May 27th. I just like bank holiday Sundays, you know?
Look, could they box on the same card is what I'm asking?
No, it's not. This isn't about Kelly. You know, Kelly is a standout brand. Yulusinov is a standout brand. If they both go the way that I think they're going to go, they will fight one day. But it will be for all the belts. But what a division. You know, I mean, already, like, what a division now at the elite end. But give us 18 months, 2 years, those boys could be mixing it with Spence and Thurman and all those guys. Crawford's a funny bastard.
Oh yeah,
I spent some time with him. Yeah, I said we've got to see more of his personality because he's really funny. But you never really see it, do you? But he's really funny. I told him that Yulusinov and Kelly are coming for him.
You obviously made a lot of comment in America regarding...
I am so unpopular in America.
That was all on you. seeing all these videos floating about without IFL on it.
Yeah, sorry,
well,
mate.
apart from Declan, actually, Declan Taylor, who was out there.
Yeah, no, there's what in America they don't really get it. Like if someone pipes up, they've got to be dealt with. So Lou DiBella piped up, he got spanked. Shirley Winkle's now piped up, he's been spanked. But they're all like, all the journos are going, Ed, Shirley Winkle's going mad. Like he's phoning up saying people are doing prank calls on him, calling him Shirley Winkle. But they go mad. They got to understand, this is great for them. For Lou DiBella and Shirley Winkle, I've just raised their profile unbelievably. So, and it's all part of the process. Like, if we make Joshua against Wilder, the little subplots, like Lou DiBella losing his rag with me, may even try and chin me, that's massive for the show. Shirley Winkle, you know, sitting there like Mr. Burns, like, again, all these little subplots are brilliant for the show, but they take it so personally. Like, I don't get it when someone calls me a silver spoon. Like, DiBella rips into me all the time. I think it's great. I look at it and brilliant. Yeah, I say something, and he's like on his knees, banging the floor, phoning journalists, saying, "This motherfucker." You know what I mean? But Shirley Winkle's lost his shit because he starts saying, "You know, I negotiated the Klitschko fight with her." No, you didn't, Shirley. Pipe down. That was all done with Byrne. I think he was on one or two phone calls.
Sorry, for people that don't know who Eddie Hearn's referring to, his correct name is actually Shirley Winkle, just so people didn't know that.
No, it's not. It's Shirley Winkle. His name changed last Thursday by Hearn Depot. He piped up, he got shut down. There's no more Shirley Winkle. He doesn't exist anymore.
Pulled out the old contract thing, didn't he?
No, he pulled out
not
an
the
email.
Contract,
I said,
not the contract thing, sorry, the email, yeah.
Yeah. Like, only plebs do that, right? So it's like, you're no longer Shirley Winkle. You are Shirley Winkle. And now, everyone in boxing refers to him as Shirley Winkle. Do you know how many people I've got coming up to me last week in America game? Because the truth is, like, they're a bit snidey in America. Like, they don't really like certain people. Like Shirley Winkle's an example, yeah? But to your face, they're like, "Hey, Eddie, how you doing, man? Great to see you. Love what you're doing for boxing." Walk past us, fat prick. You know what I mean? So like with Shirley Winkle, everyone's come up to me going, "Shirley Winkle, you've absolutely ruined it. Keep going with Shirley Winkle, it's great." Really, they hate me as well. But so now everyone was going to me, "Oh, Shirley Winkle's going mad," or "Oh, have you heard from Shirley Winkle?" So Shirley Winkle doesn't exist anymore. It's just Shirley Winkle. In fact, if we make the fight and we get the name tags done, I'm going to have Shirley Winkle. What's his name?
No chance. Remember, you just said it on me. There's no chance you do that.
That's his name.
The fight gets
It's only
made.
fair.
What does he want, Wilder? What does he want? 50-50 split?
No, I think he's come on now and said
60-40.
Yeah. Which, it's getting closer.
But then he gets the highest split in the...
If he wins.
If there's a rematch.
Yeah, if he wins, yeah.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, to be honest with you, like, our focus is solely on the Barker fight. I've not talked... I know AJ wants to fight Wilder, but I've not... You know, it's not like we've sat down and looked at the deal. Let's get May the 31st of March. This is a tough fight. This fight for me is tougher, technically, than the Wilder fight. I'm not saying it's as dangerous, but it's a very, very tough fight. And it's a unification fight, so let's get the win, and then we'll look at Wilder. But of course, people, like, you know, do you think that I want to make Joshua Wilder? Come on. All the things you accuse me of being, well, not you, but, well, I don't know, maybe, that is to my benefit to make the Wilder fight. I'm money hungry, I've got a massive ego, I'm fucking love the limelight, whatever you want to say about me. Oh mate, well that's all free in the Wilder fight. So I can't stop AJ from making his decisions about who he wants to fight. That's why we fought Charles Martin when we did. That's why we fought Klitschko when we did. And that's why we'll fight Wilder. Because if he's my cash cow, like people say, yeah, he could, but he doesn't want to do that. There's going to be very limited opportunities to become undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. with the mandatories and with everything, you're probably only going to get one shot in 3 or 5 years, and that is about this time, if he can beat Parker on 31st. So he has to fight Wilder in the next 12 months maximum to be able to get the Undisputed title, because otherwise it won't be possible. And you know what? When he wins the Undisputed title, he'll probably have to vacate a load. But at least he has done it. He has become the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. And that is the ultimate goal. It always has been.
In your opinion, can Joshua become undisputed heavyweight champion without fighting Tyson Fury?
Yes, of course. Tyson Fury doesn't own a belt. Undisputed.
Yes, I know what undisputed means. I'm just saying, in the eyes question. No, it's not. Because in the eyes of people...
Not in the eyes. Listen, you have to understand one thing, right? You can't win, you can't beat someone like Klitschko, become the linear champ, and then just not fight again and expected to be the man forever. It doesn't work like that. Tyson Fury has the opportunity to come back and to challenge for the belts and prove that he is the man. We will give him that chance. He's earned that chance. He deserves that chance. And by the way, AJ knows the mindset of, similar to what you just said, and until he fights Tyson Fury, maybe he can't be the linear champ.
That's all I was saying.
Yeah, that's fact. So your question is, can he be the undisputed?
Yes, in terms of belts, yes, but actually,
no,
does Joshua...
but that's the terminology. Can he be the linear champ until he beats Tyson Fury? No. Okay. Can he be the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world? Yes. Mate, I want to make that Tyson Fury AJ fight so fucking bad. But that fight is easy to make, but it's a case of whether we go into that before or after Deontay Wilder. At the moment, bearing in mind what Tyson wants to do, for me it comes after, which carries its own risks as well. But we would jump in that Fury fight next, but Tyson needs a couple of fights, but he's got to get back. But, you know, let's get the facts right. The facts are, can he become the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world? Yes. Can he become the linear champ? No. So he wants to be all those things. But most of all, forget the belts, forget undisputed linear. He just wants to fight Tyson Fury. Who don't want to see that? But I don't know if Tyson wants to fight AJ. If he does, it's really straightforward. It's not difficult.
What's, I know everyone keeps asking me this, but obviously without Fury making an announcement on his future of where he's going to be, where he's going, who he's going to be with, these questions are going to keep coming. So from your side, are you kind of waiting for anything to come back from Fury?
No, I mean there's loads of rumours going around that we've signed Tyson Fury. Not true. I wouldn't say we're close to signing Fury. I wouldn't say an announcement's coming. We're talking, but he's talking to everybody. I believe with us, we have a very straightforward pay-per-view model where he can make more money than he can anywhere in the world, and he can go on and fight Anthony Joshua. So I think, you know, and that's been put forward to his team. So it's up to him. I mean, look, he's his own man. I mean, he's a smart guy. He knows what he's doing. I think this is very, very simple. But he has issues to overcome in terms of previous partners that he's worked with and promoters, and I don't know his position. But I do know that it's, you know, for us, if we were going to get him out in May or June, he needs to make a decision very soon. But I want to put him in a position, one, where he can come back, earn a lot of money, and fight Anthony Joshua. That's what we want. We want Joshua Wilder. We want Joshua Fury. Of course we do. They're the biggest money fights out there. So we'll see. We'll see what he does. I have no idea what he's thinking. No idea what he's gonna do. But we've put our position forward, and I think it's more of a case of if he can solve some other situations, and he's got to get his license back still, which I think is a formality, providing he goes through the procedures.
Billy Joe Saunders. Saw him come out yesterday and
I was flirting with him.
He was flirting with him.
I'm not sure what he classes as flirting. If I was flirting with him, he would have a full-on boner. But he's not at the moment. It's just semi, because he enjoys it all, you know. I've not approached Billy Joe Saunders, I've not made him any offers, and I wouldn't do so until he was out of contract. And I believe that's after the next fight. So he said publicly. And if he's out of contract, we would be making him a very serious offer. And he would want to hear that. And it's just...
He indicated in the video yesterday that he will remain loyal to Frank Warren.
He may well do, yeah.
But all you're saying is if he became
I
available as a free fighter,
if he becomes, it doesn't matter, you know, if he become available after the next fight, of course he'd want to know what the landscape was. But he may remain, if he feels like Frank's done a great job, if he thinks like Frank can pay more money than anyone else, then yeah, I would guess if they've got a good relationship, he will stay there.
When's Joshua signing his new contract with you then?
We've got a couple of fights left, and we're going through that process at the moment. Probably the same, you know, if he got to a stage where I'm sure he'd be curious what was out there. If he thinks we've done a good job, if he thinks we can deliver more than anyone else, if he's loyal to us, he'll stay with us too. Same thing. I expect him to. Do I expect Billy Joe to stay with Frank? Yeah, probably.
But Joshua has 2 fights with you left.
Yeah, well, during its time frame, so. But there'll be over 2 fights, and then we'll do a new extension after that, which is underway.
You're hopeful that that's done?
I wouldn't say, you know, is it done now? No. Is it about to be? Yeah, we've got a good relationship. I would be very confident that Joshua would finish his career with Matchroom. And I think after the Parker fight, there'll be some news on that.
Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think, but like Billy Joe says, if someone's done a good job for you, which I don't know how he feels if Frank's done a good job, you know, I think Frank's developed him from debut to world champion. So if he thinks like he's getting the maximum amount of money, if he believes in him, if he trusts him, then if he's loyal, then yeah, I guess he will stay with Frank. And that goes with any fighter. Fighters are generally very loyal people, you know? I think you know that.
Majority.
No, but they're honest, they're not, you know, I mean, money's a head turner, but sometimes you get to a stage where you need people you can rely on and trust. And I think if you generally with a fighter, if you're doing a good job, you're paying them on time, you're paying them good money, and they trust you, you're in a good position.
Would you say that was your biggest fear in boxing, from a personal point, that Joshua is no longer with Matchroom?
No, I mean, of course, he's one of the biggest stars in world boxing.
So is that your biggest fear?
I wouldn't say it's a fear, because we're making a lot of money out of boxing. It's not geared all around Anthony Joshua. We've got some massive deals coming up to be announced in the next few months that aren't Joshua related. So we have our own business, but I want to work with Anthony Joshua. We signed Anthony Joshua from his debut, and I want to work with him to the very end. And I want him to be undisputed heavyweight champion of the world under our guidance. I think our guidance has been outstanding of Anthony the whole way through. We've got the absolute max pay for him every single time. And he's made an absolute fortune. He's become a huge brand through the work of Matchroom Boxing, AJ Boxing, Freddie and the team. Rob McCracken's done a great job. So I don't go to sleep at night and, you know, in cold sweats that next year Anthony might leave Matchroom. But of course, it would be a blow if he did. But
do you accept that where Joshua is, the gulf between that and your potential next pay-per-view star is huge?
Yeah, probably, especially over the next 12 months. Because what you're going to see is the guys, Josh Kelly, Danny Oliver, you know, those kind of guys, till we see the levels that those guys can get to. Joshua is probably the only clear pay-per-view fighter in British boxing right now. Maybe Tyson Fury as well, in terms of they could fight you and it'd be pay-per-view. That'd be a good fight. So, but again, I'm very comfortable with the position. He'll have these fights, but it'll be resolved before the end of his contract.
Obviously, Wilder's coming over for Cardiff.
Might sign Wilder. That wasn't a joke.
That would upset Shirley Winkle.
What if I signed Wilder and Fury?
What if?
Why wouldn't, if you were Wilder, why wouldn't you sign with Eddie Hearn?
Not everyone wants to sign for you. But I do think, I heard you actually say...
Don't be fucking ridiculous.
I did hear you say that with certain fighters, it's like they're fighting it. Because you
know what I mean.
You referred to Amir Khan and you were saying for years, it was like, it seems...
But it's the same with Tyson Fury. Like, if you just sit down and think about this, there's only one decision for Tyson Fury to make. It's really, but it's just that thing where you think, Hearn is such a prick, I don't want to do it. You know? You just think, but then you start working with him and you realise, fuck me, he's good. And then after a while you think, why didn't I do it? It's a bit like Amir. Amir probably thought for a while, do you know what, I should really sign with Sky. And maybe it's not even me or Matchroom, maybe it's just Sky you should be with. Because from a pay-per-view level, mate, it's not even, there isn't even another player within 100 miles of what Sky are delivering.
So you're
Sky
saying
Sports
that
box office.
like a monkey could promote for Sky Sports?
Probably, yeah. Yeah. But they couldn't get the max like I do. But it's like, I think Amir for a while was like, probably like, I know he knew he had to be with Sky. But he knew to do that, he has to be with us. And that probably held him back for a while. Then we met, and then he listened, and then I listened, and then it comes together. And then it's like, we should have been doing this years ago. Carl Froch is another example. Carl Froch.
Well, did he used to think you were a prick as well?
Probably, who wouldn't? But it's true though, isn't it? How can you not? Like, if you don't know me, maybe you do know me and think I'm a prick as well, but like Shirley Winkle and those guys, they must think, look at me and just go, what and I'm going to cause nightmares in America because I'm going to go in when we announce this deal and I'm going to sign as many top fighters as I can. And we're going to have a massive impact in the market. And I'm going to be hated in America. But that's all right. Like, that just goes with the territory. But when I talk about these fighters, when you see how we operate, when you see how we pay fighters, when you see what we do in terms of profile, what we do with our broadcasters, it's a no-brainer. But you just have to get past the mentality of, I'm going to fight the system. You know? I'm not going to go with Hearn and Sky because I'm going to fight the system and I'm going to go and do it. It's all bollocks.
Some fighters do that though, don't they?
What, fight the system?
I'm not saying using that term, you're using that term, fight the system. I'm saying some people kind of, they don't go the Hearn way, do they?
No, but for many reasons. One, because maybe our offer's not good enough, or we're not as interested. But generally, if we want a fighter, we'll generally get them. There haven't really been many that we have, when we've gone for gold, there haven't been many that we haven't signed.
You never got Frampton.
That's, yeah, but I didn't go for gold. I made him a good offer, and I was asked if I could just increase my offer, you get him, and I didn't want him. That's the truth. But I would have loved to work for Frampton. Good bloke, good fighter. But I didn't, you know, there's many more levels I could have gone to try and win that, and I didn't. But, you know, generally when an offer's made, and it's the right offer, I don't think there's anywhere else to go.
When Wilder's over here, is Shirley Winkle over here?
Who's that? Can you rephrase it?
No, I can't.
No, I can't answer your question. I don't know who you're referring to.
Shirley Winkle, who you refer to as Shirley Winkle.
Shirley Winkle.
Who you refer to, not me. Is he going to be over here as well?
I don't think so. But he's more than welcome.
Are you going to have a meeting with
I've got
Wilder?
a nice seat for him in the top tier.
Are you going to have a meeting with Wilder? Or a chat,
Probably.
casual
Yeah,
chat?
I think so. I think we should have a chat. Yeah. I mean, look, my take on it is Deontay Wilder's, what was his purse last fight? $2.1 million. He's the WBC World Heavyweight Champion. They sold, what, 10,000 tickets for his last fight with Ortiz. I could sell out the O2 for him against Ortiz, 17,000. So really, he should be making double or treble what he just made in his last fight. But he hasn't got, there's no sprinkle. And he needs the sprinkle on the winkle.
So,
because he's got it, hasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, he's got it.
Yeah.
He's a great fighter. He's a great talker. He looks the part. He has a great backstory. But he's like, I feel for him because he's like a one-man band on a megaphone. Just out everywhere and pump himself. And he needs someone to do that for him.
Do you see that situation where if Joshua beats Parker and kind of gets in the ring, that could be the start of it?
Start of what?
Wilder Joshua.
He won't be getting in the ring. We haven't made a fight. No, just, yeah, mate, everyone come in. We might fight you next year. Just get in. Oh, who's over there? Fury. You come in and all. Like a Royal Rumble.
Be great.
So, no, but it's a natural fight. Everyone's calling for that fight. And if Josh can do the business on March 31st, and that's just what the focus is right now, let's just get the win on March 31st.
I think that some people are being a bit too dismissive.
I couldn't agree with you more. This is, as far as I'm concerned, the toughest fight of Anthony Joshua's career, and I believe this is a tougher fight than the Klitschko fight because I just think there's more pressure. I think he's going to have a great game plan with Kevin Barry. I think technically it's going to be a tough fight. And Josh knows it because he's said to me on numerous occasions this is going to be a very technical fight. And I think you're going to see things in this fight from AJ that you may have not seen before, skill-wise. It's a brilliant fight, brilliant card.
I'm rating your card for next week actually as well.
White Brown.
Yeah,
brilliant card at the O2.
We're
going to have a great crowd again. It's going to be bigger than a Cody Chamberlain crowd. And Dillian White against Lucas Brown is a brilliant fight. It's the biggest fight in the division outside of the championship fights. And it's a tough fight for Dillian White. But you have two brilliant British title fights on that card. In Frank Buglioni against Callum Johnson. British light heavyweight title, great fight. And a brilliant British lightweight title as well. Lewis Ritson against Scotty Cardle. Chisora on the card, Fowler on the card.
Who's Chisora going to fight?
Just working that out at the moment.
Is Chisora going to fight on the May 5th card as well?
Possibly.
The Joe Joyce fight is not happening, is it?
No.
Okay. Interesting. Is your card, your half of the card done for May 5th?
No, we've only done one fight. We've only got...
But you know who's on the bill?
Yeah, we're looking to make Ryder against Cox as well. We could do Butler against Rodriguez for the IBF World title. They're going to put Joe Joyce in a big fight. There's quite a few bits to be added. Still 9 weeks away. Mad, isn't it? You've got a big run there, you've got April 21st with Khan. We've got like 500 tickets left for Khan. It's going to be a sellout at the Echo. Then you've got Jacobs.
How many tickets have you got left for Khan?
500.
Really?
9,000.
Okay.
That's how we do.
Okay.
Then we've got Jacobs the week after, Sulecki, Gerald Miller against DeHalpus, Katie Taylor in the unification fight, Yulusinov making his debut, and then we've got May 5th, Hey Billy.
So from May 5th you go to possibly 26th?
Yeah. And then we're going to go June 16 in Newcastle. I may do a massive show early June. And then I'll probably do one in July early. And then we'll be done. To end of August, early September.
When you say massive show, who will be involved in this massive show?
That's what we're working on at the moment.
Yeah, who? Who?
You know.
Do I?
Yeah.
Oh, him.
Deep down, you know. We'll see.
Do-
Might do Wilder against White.
Stop it.
Why?
You didn't make it for Feb the 3rd.
I know.
Who else you signing?
We're going to be signing a lot of fighters.
From across the pond?
Mainly across the pond.
Yeah. Any Brits?
Yep.
Ex-GB stars?
XGB. Yeah.
Or GB stars?
No.
Apparently X.
No, we're going to be very active in the transfer market over the next couple of months.
There should be a window, don't you think?
No.
Yeah.
You could do like a live show, like
Yeah, we would.
yeah.
Transfer deadline
Yeah,
day outside, like Matchroom.
Yeah.
We'd put one outside Matchroom, one at Frank's, one at. Don't know who else. We'll just scatter them about.
Yeah.
We're outside Matchroom
Got a lot of
HQ.
people working for you. Was someone filming? Did you have someone filming yesterday?
Where's yesterday?
I don't know. I saw someone said on their Instagram story filming with IFL TV.
Wingy.
Where was he filming yesterday?
He filmed Bellew.
That was it. Yeah. He sent Wingy up to Bellew.
I didn't send Wingy up to Bellew. Wingy sent himself up to Bellew.
Did it after speaking to Bellew?
No, but he.
Well, he just turned up.
No, he knows Caldwell.
Who's Caldwell?
Dave Caldwell.
Who's Caldwell?
Is this another Shirley Winkle thing?
No. Who's Dave Caldwell?
Dave Caldwell.
Dave Caldwell.
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 It's not Caldwell, is it? It's not Caldwell.
Dave Caldwell.
Caldwell.
Caldwell. Sorry, Dave.
Have you always called him that?
Dave Caldwell. Caldwell.
That's better.
Caldwell. Yeah, he spoke to him. He went up there. Tony Bellew interview's actually out tonight at 7 o'clock. He did 35 minutes with Bellew.
Did they? So is Wingy full time on the staff now?
Wingy's just, we're seeing how it goes.
So you got Wingy,
Yeah.
Sonny, is he still going?
Yeah.
Who else you got?
A couple of other young bloods.
So like you had Declan Taylor doing some bits for you out there.
Yeah, Declan has done.
What'd you give him a few quid?
Well, obviously, he's not cheap either.
Dec's having it off, isn't he? Because he basically goes through everything and just charges people bits and pieces, doesn't he?
But Dec's good. Yeah,
What sort of dough do you give him?
What do you pay your fighters? Come on, let me list you all your fighters. You tell me what their purse was, then I'll tell you
Go on,
what
then.
Declan. Yeah?
Go on then.
You want to play this game?
Well, you get one, and then I get to find out how much Dec's paid. So it's 1 for 1.
No, not worth a one. You list me 5 fighters that I tell you.
What? And I get 1.
This is my
So you get 5 purses, and I get to find out how much you give Declan Taylor for a weigh-in.
Let's not play this game.
Okay.
Alright?
Tell me.
I'll do you a favour by this.
Okay. I wouldn't give you that.
More people will be interested in your fighter purses for the last, if I pick 5 fighters, than what
Of course.
Declan Taylor got.
Of course. I would not divulge that information.
Or you may do. Right, so, anything else you want to add?
How long we done?
It's a good 50 minutes.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not really.
Do you want to talk about Stubhub? What?
I was at the Stubhub Arena on Saturday.
You were, yeah? That,
Great arena.
how was the rain there? Really?
Absolutely. Mate, I got the funniest tweet. Because you know, did you see me in my white
Poncho.
on? Someone said, you know, because I kept jumping up in a quick fight, Hearn looks like a shuttlecock ringside. Oh, mate. What else?
What is the news that come out about the secondary ticket market? We had to put your name to, or plans they've got for this to happen.
I've never seen it.
Okay.
Like, one thing you got to know is, like, this is the situation at the moment. We've released some new tickets for Joshua against Parker, 40s, 60s and 80s. So they're available for face value on StubHub. Don't buy them. They're there, they're at face value. So, you know, I think sometimes people just presume there's no... Hey, Bellew, You know, we've released another 600 tickets for Hay Value. They're available for face value online. But again, like, and when there is an event that's sold out, it doesn't matter. Groves Eubank was a great example. They're available on the secondary market because they're a sellout. And we go back to Frank. You know, Frampton's not sold out. Of course, Selby Warrington's not sold out. So he hasn't put on a sold out event. When he does, he will see his tickets on the secondary market.
So what do people suggest you do? Like you're selling tickets to the secondary market?
I'm not selling tickets to the secondary market. Do you not understand
no,
this?
but is that what people
Stubhub are our
do?
primary seller of our tickets only at face value. And they're so, like, they've developed into such an important part of our business in terms of selling primary face value tickets. The other side, I understand the argument. They know we're not selling tickets to the secondary market, but we're working with a site that does have a secondary part of their site. I understand. But we don't, and I never would. But people are moaning for that reason, saying, oh, well, you're involved with a site that has a secondary side.
But when they see an event you put on and then the tickets go straight away on there
along with other resale sites as well, via GoGo. Matchroom Boxing has nothing to do with via GoGo. Get Me In, we have nothing to do with Get Me In. They're still on there. But obviously because of the association, everyone wraps it into one. But what's happening is, and this goes for every event, not just Joshua or boxing tickets, goes for concerts and everything. People, you, for example, right? So you go online, and this is one thing that does piss me off about Fight Pass members, is you go online, you buy 4 tickets for Joshua Parker, right? You buy them at 200 quid each. You then list them on the secondary market for 500 quid each, yeah? And you really want to go to the fight, but you think to yourself, if I get 500 quid a ticket, that's $2,000. You know, that's a lot of money. So people are just trying that. 9 times out of 10, the prices that are bumped, there can't be a secondary market if there's still tickets available. That's what I'm saying. So buy your tickets, they're still available for that fight, the new ones that we've released. But that's what's happening, is people, and obviously people run businesses, mainly touts, who buy hot tickets and try and resell them.
So if the system comes in place where
it's illegal,
every ticket is named to that person, does that work?
Not really. The only thing on that is showing ID, which is an absolute logistical nightmare at events, where you have a queuing system where people then have to pull out their ID, check. I mean, it'll cause murders for big events. But I'm open for any of this legislation. Like, it's not going to affect my business if the secondary ticket market shuts down at all, because I don't benefit from the resale of a ticket. So for me, what I should be doing is putting the prices up at the primary end to stop the secondary ticket market. But there's no point doing that, because then everything becomes a joke, you know what I mean? But I'd have no benefit to the secondary. Like, I don't want people to resell a ticket. I'd rather you don't buy a secondary ticket, because it gives me the arm when I should get that money. You know what I mean? It's my show. If you buy a VIP ticket for $1,000 and you sell it to someone for $4,000, I should have that $3,000. Or I should have just made it $4,000 to start with. So my message is, don't buy from the secondary market, buy from the primary market.
So you're saying just because StubHub has that secondary ticket market,
that's the issue.
If you went with a ticket agency that didn't have that secondary, you're saying that it wouldn't make a difference because it would go across everywhere else.
Well, you think that if I went with another ticketing company, there wouldn't be tickets on the secondary market? That'd be ridiculous. Any high demand event will have a thriving secondary market ticket sales. Every event. It doesn't matter who we're involved with. But I understand what people say, because we're involved. Our primary ticket seller, face value tickets, the only way we sell our tickets is StubHub. And they're brilliant at what they do for us. And they push the ticket sales brilliantly for us. So they have a secondary market area on their site? Yes, they do. Nothing to do with us. We don't benefit from it. We don't take any commission on resale tickets. We don't take any fees on resale tickets. Nothing at all. Our deal, our contract, to sell face value tickets only.
So the gripe amongst people...
The gripe amongst people is that we're involved with a site that does that. And the other gripe is that our tickets go on sale, and when they go on sale, people will resell them immediately on Stubhub or other resale sites, but mainly the focus is on Stubhub. And the other gripe from one particular promoter is that he can't sell out a venue, and he doesn't realise the secondary market business because he doesn't create events that have high enough demand to create a secondary market.
So, with these gripes that people have got, are you doing anything currently for the future to counter this, or is there really nothing you can do?
You can't stop the secondary resale market. I mean, in America, for example, the secondary market is not talked about in the same regard. They actually embrace the secondary market. I don't like it because, again, I don't want you to make money out of selling tickets for my show. Again, you know how fucking stubborn and apparently all these other things, egotistical or money grabbing I am. So why would I want you to make money out of selling my tickets? Where's the benefit for me? What, just to get stick? The reason I put up with a stick from Stubhub is because our ticket sales, primary face value tickets, since going with them has gone box. Look at our shows. We're rammed out on everything. Cody Chamberlain, 8,000. Brooks, 7,000. Amir Khan, 9,000 sellout. Dillian White, 9,000 at the O2. Anthony Joshua, 78,000. Incredible. That's because we're working with the right commercial partners, not just StubHub, but others, Sky, JD Sports, of course, Matchroom as a business. So, yes, the flack is there, but it's the right thing for our business, and my conscience is completely clear because we have zero involvement in the secondary market.
Oh, thanks for that.
That's all right. Anything else?
No. Do you know what? I see sometimes people putting tickets like the week of the fight. For example, I've got 4 tickets for Joshua and get absolutely hammered because it's not the same price as what's actually on the ticket. But do people
just
but do people believe that
change
in whatever, not just boxing tickets, that if it's not a face value price, then it shouldn't be being sold?
Yeah, I'm not sure that you should be able to resell a ticket anyway, but it's not illegal. It's not, if it wasn't allowed, there would be no sites. But look, if someone can't go to an event and for some reason they want to get rid of their ticket or resell a ticket, no problem. Don't buy a ticket to try and make a touch out of reselling it. That's what I don't like. And I've seen some, like, third row of Joshua that they've bought online via Fight Pass for £2,000 and they put them up for 25 grand each.
What?
Yeah.
25 grand?
Each ticket. And you know what? Someone might buy them. But do you think that makes me happy? Why would I want someone to make 46 grand out of reselling a ticket to my show? But I understand, it's there, it's not going away. People have the ability to do that. The only way you can stop that is to increase the prices and try and eradicate the secondary market.
I mean, there's got to be a little bit of common sense element to this. Why would you pay
that's what I'm saying.
For that ticket that's not worth it anyway? That's why I look at that in a certain way.
But it's people trying to love. Someone's got a ticket for Joshua Parker and they're like, what a touch, I've got a ticket, I'm desperate to go. But you know what I'm going to do? I'll put it up for 25 grand to see what happens. It won't sell. And then they'll go. You know?
But
if it sells, where's my 44 grand?
25 grand?
Yeah.
I've seen some like ridiculous ones for like Mayweather, McGregor,
but like I said, you got that Frank Warren loves to stir up the public on this whole situation. And listen, I don't begrudge him doing it because he's got to try something to turn things around. So he uses that to sort of try and get people against me. But again, I've had no problem talking about it. Ask me anything you want on it. But you have just done 15 minutes. I can't do any more. I've never sold a ticket to say, I don't want to. I don't do it in my contract style. It's not allowed. It's very clear. Face value tickets only. But Frank should maybe try Stubhub. Face value tickets, because they might help his business. They've helped mine.
Okay, is there anything else?
No, I don't think so. I'm really excited about White against Brown. I'm really excited about Joshua Parker. Great card. Price per Vecchio. Bombs will fly. Burnett against his mandatory Parejo for the world title. Josh Kelly against Molina is a great fight.
Yeah, really well. That is,
Caldina against Townend's a great fight. Going to be adding one more title fight to the card as well. Do you know what? There's a really good little fight on that card. It's gone massively under the radar, obviously. Moses, I won't even attempt his last name. So he's a judo fighter from New Zealand, and he's fighting Morgan Jones from Wales, who's like 12-0, 13-0. And this kid Moses, judo, telling me like he's the real deal. And obviously Morgan Jones is Welsh, she's stepping up. It's going to be a right cracking little fight. Not even sure we've announced it.
I saw the release of that.
Yeah.
You have announced it?
Have we? Okay, thanks for that.
I'll get your press releases on. So
no, but it's going to be a massive night, massive spectacle. And I'm so excited about it because it's a fight that there's so much on the line. There's 4 heavyweight world title belts on the line. And I can sit there and actually, because it's all on the line, I've got to win that fight.
4?
You know what I mean?
3 you care about?
3 recognised world title fights and the IBO.
I'm only going from what you said before.
No, I don't. Listen, I don't not respect the IBO, but in terms of a recognised world title, I have to be honest, I'm not going to lie to you, I don't see that as a standalone, you know, in my opinion. I still think it adds value, that's why we're defending it, that's why we're paying the sanction fees.
That alongside, I always said the same thing, that alongside other belts.
Yeah, that's...
Yes, as a sole belt holder
no, I agree.
of the IBO. Yeah. Do you want to give
Canelo?
it? Oh my God. Sorry. Doing my job for me.
Versus open up a can of worms, isn't it? Good. Can of beef.
Mexican beef.
Yeah, go on.
Yes, grey area of boxing again, Edward.
Yeah. What do you think? You don't like to stir anything up because you just like one day you might be in a situation where you get to interview Canelo.
What are you on about? I've interviewed him loads of times. I want to continue to interview him, but no, listen.
The feeling in boxing is that he's guilty.
Do you buy?
I have no idea.
Right, but
do I buy the Mexican meat thing?
Yes.
I probably buy that there has been an occasion where, whether it's clenbuterol or something, has been found in Mexican meat. Yeah, I do buy that. Do I buy that's the reason that he's failed the test? It's just the pictures of him on the scales, you know? Like, I mean, I don't know.
So they found the normal amount of level which could be contained within certain meats. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't know. I mean, it's one of them where, at the end of the day, if you fail a test, you have to live with the consequences, right? Because you have to be responsible for what goes in your body. Now, if he's cheating, knowingly cheating, he should be banned from the sport. If he's unlucky, then I feel for him because his reputation is tarnished forever. You know, just look at when he puts a tweet out or something on Instagram. I was just looking at it the other day, it's like people just emoji needles like the whole way down, you know. So if he's unlucky, I do feel for him because he's going to have that reputation for the rest of his boxing career. If he was knowingly cheating, he deserves to be out of the sport. But you at some point you have to make your decision where your train of thought's going to be, and that's the same case with other fighters that we've put on our shows who have failed tests in the past. Do you believe them or do you not believe them? We've never had a fighter fail a drugs test. Oh, sorry, I thought we meant the phones here. On, like, you know, who we work with. So we've had fighters on our shows who have failed drugs tests previously, and some have failed it, I believe, so unluckily, not knowing that something or pre-workout drug.
So it's your interpretation of it, is that what you're saying?
Not mine, it's the
No,
universal.
whether you work with them or not.
Yeah. Like, if there's someone that I mean, but then again, you get people like Alexander Povetkin. So I can't really, you know, I'm going to contradict myself, aren't I? Because did Alexander Povetkin knowingly cheat? He don't look good. But he's fighting David Price. But he's the mandatory for Joshua's belt. I can't avoid him. Like, you know.
Whoever fails a drugs test, the truth of it is, you don't know, I don't know, no one
No,
else
but you can
knows.
believe, like, there's people out there
Yeah.
that I'm sure you believe didn't knowingly take something to cheat or to get an edge. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Who have failed tests.
Yes.
So, and you believe them, and I believe them, but we don't know.
No,
do
that's
we?
what I'm saying.
I
I believe
no.
them, but...
Yeah, but then if you believe them, you have to give them the benefit of the doubt. But sometimes, especially repeat offenders, you know, it's hard, it's a tough one. Because there's athletes, you know, I always look at Dwayne Chambers, and I'll talk about this quite a lot. I used to work in a company that, in the same building, they represented Dwayne Chambers. He used to come in, he's a lovely geezer, real nice guy, went to America, started training on Victor Conti's team, come back, failed a drugs test. And I was like, and he was like, no. And I believed him 1,000,000%. And I would have stood up for him and said, mate, I know Dwayne Chambers, he would not cheat. Anyway, it all come out. It was part of a big system and everyone knew about it, you know? But at that moment, I would have said no. But sometimes a trainer or a nutritionist will get into a fighter and convince them that people are doing it and this will give you an edge and this is the right thing to do. So, I don't know.
In your opinion, though, should Canelo still be allowed to fight? You can say I don't know if you really don't know.
I'm going to be really honest and say, ethically, probably not. But from a boxing perspective, a fight perspective, and the fact that it's so far out that they can run continuous tests, possibly. I don't know. It's a tough one because I don't want to lie to you. And like, if I was involved in a fight, as long as both fighters were happy and the commission and the governing body was happy, I would let the fight run. So I can't sit here and say I wouldn't allow this because, again, like.
But is that
but
you
the
would let
problem
the fight run because of the scale of the fight?
No, because that is an issue as well. But also, if the teams were happy, if the WBC was happy, if the Nevada Commission was happy, if VADA were happy that tests, then I wouldn't. If any of those guys weren't happy, I wouldn't necessarily fight to get it over the line. Do you know what I mean? But if everybody was happy, I wouldn't feel like it was my decision to say no, I just can't do this. I mean, it's just you understand what I mean? So you have to let the people make their decisions. It's a bit like Alexander Povetkin. He's mandatory for AJ. I can't change that. No, whether I think he should be or he shouldn't be, we've got to fight him. So what are you going to do about it? The WBC come out with a statement last night, basically saying that this failed test was 100% down to me in Mexico. I mean, it's a bit of a strange one, but so I'm just telling you the truth, like how I would play it if it was me. I would look at it and I would say, I would go to Gennady Golovkin's team, I would say, what do you want to do? And I'll tell you what the answer would be. They'll say, we want to fight him. Then I would go to Varda and I would look at it, I would speak to him and I would say, what is the situation? We're looking into it, we're doing tests. I think he took another test like 5 or 6 days later and it was clear.
Yeah.
Is that because it was out of the cycle? Or is that because it was just some meat that he ate, Then I would speak to WBC, I would speak to Nevada Commission, I would let people run their investigations. And if he was cleared to fight, I would allow the fight. Ethically, should the fight go ahead? What is the point in having a drugs testing system that we've craved for so long in boxing if when a fighter fails, there is no consequence? What would you do? What do you think? You don't have to say whether you think he's guilty or not, but in this instant, which is already there, it's in front of us.
No, but like what you said, what's the point of having a drug system like we have now across the world if there's still, I'm not saying ways of getting around it, but if they're happy to say that
it's meat or
it is meat, it's 100%. So
I agree with you.
You have to take that for
you have to draw the line somewhere, but
then
you have to also, it's not necessarily for us to decide, is it? It's, even as a promoter, if a fighter's cleared to fight, and you said to me, is it because the size of the fight? Is the size of the fight going to make the decision of those people?
if you ask,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so like, if this was a 6-rounder,
yeah, I know.
he'd be out. So
Yeah, but there shouldn't be a.
I know, but that's the world. That's the world we live in. That's not just boxing. That's sport. That's life, and it's wrong. But again, I can't sit here and say, "Oh yeah, it was one," because it's not. It's Canelo against Golovkin.
If you were to ask boxing fans whether they think that Canelo's guilty or not, and if they said yes, he's guilty, then you ask them, "Do you still want to see the fight?"
I'd say yes.
I believe.
But
that.
that's not.
I believe that
we've got to act in the best interest of the sport at the
Yeah.
same time. Otherwise, it's going to become
it's
false.
irrelevant. It's irrelevant whether they. Yeah.
But like I said, you have to rely on the people to make those decisions. It's not down to the promoter to make those decisions. If a fight is clear to fight, the fact that it's Canelo and the fact that it's Canelo against Triple G, is that going to affect the decision? Quite possibly, yes. Is that right or wrong? It's 100% wrong. Is that life? Yes. Just being honest.
Yeah, that's pretty fucked up, though.
It is.
Because you said
I know, but
it's a 6-rounder.
Yeah, but it's
with two fighters that no one would ever heard of.
But what do you want me to say about it? I mean, I'm just telling you the truth.
Okay.
I don't necessarily think that Varda would act in it.
Yeah.
I mean, Varda are, a sort of, if you want to say a sort of neutral agency, So I don't necessarily think they'll go, oh, it's Canelo, so we won't tell you the truth, or, But I think when you're talking about people who are influenced by the benefit of this fight, then I think that they will have that in their mind. Should Golden Boy or should Tom Loeffler come out and say, we're not fighting? Should HBO come out and say, this fight's not going to happen? Should the Nevada Commission come out and say, this fight's not going to happen? It's going to cost everybody a lot of money if they do that. And that's the problem.
This camera's getting hot.
It's in the sun.
I know.
We're done now.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you actually about one more thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not boxing related. What did you make of the whole Jamie Carragher thing?
He's had a stinker. I mean, I know Jamie Carragher, and I like Jamie Carragher, and he's so highly regarded at Sky, and as a pundit, and he's a good family man. But sometimes you're going to make mistakes. The problem is when you're high profile, your mistakes are going to be magnified to another level. Like, anyone could do that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure you've been in an incident before, maybe you haven't spat at a car, but someone's cut you up and your window's gone down and you've got out of the car, and we've all done it. But it's just that it's changed. I mean, and he's spit, and it's like, and then things come up and bite you in the arse. Like, of course, things that he said, like, I think there was an incident where someone spat, and he said, "Oh, it's disgusting, spitting at," you know. But
do you know, I think it's a bit of a.
I don't like to. It's a bit like the Quigg thing. I don't like when people get on their high horse and go, "I mean, it's disgusting." Like, you know what I mean? Like, people sometimes act like they've never made a mistake in their life. Some mistakes are unforgivable. Unforgivable. You know? I'm talking about crimes and stuff where someone might have made a mistake, but it doesn't matter. But this guy has been wound up, and I mean, the other geezer is in a car, he's with his daughter. He's like goading Jamie Carragher, filming it out the window while he's driving. I mean, and then...
Do you know what I found weird in the whole thing? Right? You've got a daughter. She's in the car with you, someone spits at your daughter. Is your first intention to kind of, obviously he's recording anyway, but kind of Jamie Carragher spitting at my daughter. He pulled up at the lights, but I'm saying someone spat at your daughter.
Well, I would have driven in front of him and spun the car around and tried to stop him going in there. And I would have lost my complete rake. Whereas he went, "Oh, where did it get you?" Like...
No, but you can see my point. His mentality was the kind of, "Oh, I've got a clip here of him spitting."
But also, he said to his daughter, "Oh, where did it get you?" It's like, where did it get you? If someone spat at your daughter, I mean, you wouldn't stop chasing him, would you? Till you all run out of petrol.
Whether you're up, you can fight hard man or not.
No. But that's it. But then at the same time, this is the mentality of some people, where he's actually thinking, he's probably, as soon as it's happened, he's probably gone, "Oh, a few quid for this clip."
Well, that's the way it comes across.
Not my daughter's just been spat in her face.
Yeah.
But again, I don't think Jamie Carragher was spitting at the girl. You know what I mean?
He was spitting at the car.
Oh no. But listen,
that could have been.
It's a complete disaster for him. But are we all really that prim and proper and naive to turn around and say you've never, in anger, made a mistake? You've never made this is, and again, going back to like the Quigg thing, it does. You know, just reading a message. I mean, this is disgusting. Like, it's like, fuck me, mate. This geezer's dedicated his whole life to the sport. He's knocked his bollocks out in this camp to try and make the weight. And if you know anything about Scott Quigg, he's devastated. It's not like he went for a McDonald's like the day before the weigh-in and just. It's a tough sport. But again with Carragher, he's just made a mistake, and he's going to have to be punished for it. But what do you think? Same thing.
Yeah. Well, listen, it was stupid. I do think that. Do I think he should lose his job over it? No. I
think they've suspended him.
They've suspended
him.
Yeah,
that's about right. I mean,
I get that. He's a role model. I get why they've done that, but should he never allowed to be working for Sky again?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
And again,
but it was bad. I'm not excusing that.
But listen, he knows it. I mean, he's probably thinking to himself, "What have I done here?"
Just like that. Split second.
He's probably having a bad day. His team's lost. He's got the ump. Something else might be happening, and he's got this geezer mugging him off in a car, goading him with. I mean, but anyway, the other thing I was going to ask. I was away all last week. Fill me in on a couple of things.
Cool.
Arsenal.
Yeah.
You won, didn't you?
Twice, yeah.
Okay. Because when I was, just before I was going away, it was all going like people were just saying, he's got to go. What's the update on that? Still got to go. As an Arsenal fan, where do you sit on it?
It's like that.
Do you want Wenger out?
No, but if he went, I wouldn't be you know.
Do you think he can take the club back to titles? Not really.
No, it's gone far too.
What happened at West Ham?
What, the pitch invasion?
Yeah, because I was away there as well.
To be honest with you, I just know that there was a pitch invasion. Again, it's to do with who's running the club and
how close to West Ham to relegation?
I don't actually know where they are positioned.
I saw Mark Noble as well. Like, there's an example. What do you think about what Mark Noble done?
What did Mark Noble do?
He went up to a fan, grabbed him, and slammed him on the floor.
Oh yeah, of course. Sorry, that was Mark Noble. Wasn't it? Sorry, yeah, it was. I knew someone did that. It was Mark Noble.
I think 1,000,000% right. If you want to come on the pitch and hear a player, that's dangerous.
Hey, you should be able to protect yourself from, you know. It's like boxers.
People running on the pitch.
Boxers, when they get promoters running into the ring, they should be able to defend themselves.
Great banter. Great banter. Prick.
We're waiting for the next meme that comes up of you.
Yeah, it won't be long. Might be Joshua Parker.
Right.
Because AJ don't have none of it. He don't want anyone to touch him after he's knocked someone out. Oh, AJ.
Right. Eddie Hearn, thank you very much for joining
Good
TV.
to see you.
Do you want to give anything away?
Back in the UK.
Do you want to give that jumper away?
No. What can we give away?
To the first person. Did he get his thing? The guy that tweeted.
What are you talking about?
The letters that you said in the last interview we did here, you said if you can guess what it is.
I don't think we had a prize, did we?
Yeah, we had a t-shirt.
Oh, Matchroom Boxing t-shirt.
Yeah, that was you.
If that was you, can you get in touch, please?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wait there, let me just find something to give away.
So, just returning back here with Eddie Hearn.
We have a signed Kell Brook programme for the destruction of Sergey Rabchenko, the new king of the 154-pound division. And we're going to be giving away this signed programme. We're going to do another abbreviation game.
Yes.
So what's on my mind is KVKLG.
KVKLG.
You get that right, you can read this warped mind, you win yourself exclusive signed programme.
So they have to hashtag this. Put the what
hashtag
you think the abbreviation
KVKLG, and you got to say what it is.
Okay. KVKLG.
Yeah. Alright?
Alright. Will you sign it as well? Or?
If you want me to. They might not.
Just specify if you want any.
You do have, yeah, if you want Fat Nuts to sign it, no problem.
Alright. Eddie Hearn, thank you very much for talking to iFull TV, and we'll see you tomorrow in Switzerland.
We'll do.
History, all 4 belts in the Cruiserweight division will belong proudly around the waist of one man,